this is Liz. Welcome to my little urban homestead and welcome to Fabric Friday. A lady called Pearl has been in touch with me via Facebook, and she's wanted to see a tutorial on how I make the ski pants. This is the pattern I use. Yes, it's old, tattered. I've had it several years. It's a quick sew pattern, K3636, and you can make the ski pants out of it, shorter ones or just normal leggings, whichever size you want. So, and it's a very easy pattern. So this is what I'm going to do, a tutorial on how I do them. Now, I bought some of this stretch velvet a while ago, like a snakeskin print on it. I put the selvage edges together, fold it in half with the right sides together and cut it out, which is what I will do now. I've now got my fabric laid out. I've got 3 meters of this, so I'm going to have more than enough. And as you see, there's the selvage. So it's selvage to selvage, right sides together. Now, if you've got a velour or something with a nap to it, make sure it's going in the same direction. Now, I like the smoothness to go down my leg rather than up, so that's the way I made sure that the direction is down, because this will be the top. So yes, I've got paper weights and that to just hold me fabric so it doesn't slide off the table. The pattern, when you buy it, I was quite surprised with this, you get 2 pieces exactly the same. Now, you can keep one that's permanently cut short for the leggings or the shorts, or you can have one that's a full length, whichever you want. I just keep using the same one time and time again. In fact, I lost the newer one that I didn't keep using, but I've still got this one. But if I hadn't, I could always use, say, the ski pants that I'm wearing today. I could always use them as the pattern and make it that way. As I've made this before several times, I know I prefer an extra bit on the top, about 1 inch so on the top round the waist, because I like a nice deep waist, and I've got a long body. I'm very tall, I'm nearly 6 foot tall, and I also have to extend the leg length. That's why the pattern appears cut off there at the lengthen or shorten here. So if you were a short person, what you would do is cut this bottom piece off at the line and then move it up however much you need it. Me, I need it moving down by about 1 inch, and it works out exactly right then. And like I said, I've made this pattern no end of times, so it's just basically a guideline for me now. I don't even look at the instructions. So I'll let this run and fast forward it. Now, if you're to the size that it is, be careful, because you're cutting out 2 pieces and each one is for a leg. So you want to make sure that the crutch is going to fit there, because you don't want to pin it all round and get to this side and see that, oops, it isn't big enough. and you've got to unpin it and pin it again. Or if you actually cut it. Now I can see that it doesn't run level with the grain, because you will see a long line with an arrow at the top of it. That's your grain line, which basically your grain goes straight down the fabric. So now I've got those two pinned. I will go to the top and pin there. Go down to the length that I've got here. Let's move it up a bit, because I've pinned all this. So move my weight off it, move it up, weight back on, because the fabric just falls off the end of this table, and it can pull it down. Make sure it's level, straight. Now you can add a piece of paper in there. I don't, I just tend to do it by eye. And as you see, you've got the bits that go round your foot that make this a ski pants. And I prefer ski pants because they don't pull it tight, but they keep it nice and taut, so it gives the leg, I think, a nice line to it. And because I'm old school, I use my scissors. I don't cut with a rotary cutter, but you can do. Nothing's stopping you at all. Now, I think I'm going to start from the top. There are notches in the pattern here. You can either notch in or take a notch to the outer side. I don't bother doing notches. As I say, I have done this pattern there many times. It's easy for me not to do the notches. And I'll get back to the top and add some on in a curve shape in a moment. But as is with any pattern you get, for the first time you check all the measurements, the sizes that it's going to fit you. Sorry if my arm's in the way. Yes, I do eyeball. I don't always measure. In fact, I rarely measure. And rather than spending time faffing around at the moment, I'm just going to so I can basically lose the bulk end of the fabric, the other nearly 2 meters of fabric, which are pulling it down. That's it. And I've got enough, no, not enough for another pair, but not far off. So I can make a t-shirt, same as I've done here, or put in a cardigan, or whatever I want to do with it. Save it for a few years. And now I haven't got the bulk of the fabric pulling it down, I can go in and just now, as I've told you before, I'm tall and I like a little bit extra length, not much, for the foot to go through. So I take it about 1/4 of an inch further than the pattern. And that's the pattern cut out. That's all it is. 2 pieces. The reason I feel that you don't need notches in this, because it's very simple now. Just pull it down so you've got your tops together. And while it's here, all laid out, this back seam that goes all the way from the waistband to the crotch, I just pin in place or clip in place. Normally use clips when I'm going to the serger, because I sew it together on the serger and then I do a stitch on the sewing machine. But that's now ready. It's all cut out and it's ready for me to serge the edges. This is the setup I have when I'm making clothes and using my serger, which is next to my Nucky sewing machine on my sewing desk. So we put these clips in it. You may have used pins, whichever. And basically, if you haven't got a serger, you can do it neaten the seams however you want. You can zigzag the edges, you could even do a French seam in these, but I find that serging them gives them a much better finish. This is a pair of shorts which was some fabric I had in a remnant pack from Abercorn's years ago, and I've only just got round to using it. But you can see it leaves a much smaller finished, more professional looking edge, and I've just stitched it together with the serger, and as you can see it's white thread and you can't really see it. So they're just for knocking around in the garden anyway, so it doesn't matter. But this is that velvet velour. I've got 2 brown cottons and 2 white for the loopers on the serger, but I'm now just going to serge it together, those 2 bits that we clipped, which is the front seam line and the back seam line. I'm not stretching the fabric as it goes through, just letting it draw it through. And I make all my leggings, ski pants, shorts, and most of me tops, if they're, especially if they're stretch fabric, I do them straight on the serger. It's obviously got a cutter on it, so you can't do the finishing off, and it's a bit awkward doing sewing the elastic in, but very doable. You can see that notch that I cut out. All you'd have to do is be putting it together with the bit that was behind it when you cut it out. So it just seems to be a waste of time to do that. So I don't. And you can see how quickly these go together. Now you can see where we've just sewn on the serger because it's white. So you can see it easy. But to the front, you can't. Lay it on your cutting table and take one piece, up and pull it apart, and you'll see now the shape of them. There are the two legs. So just get clips and clip each leg and take it to the serger, which is what I'm going to do now. So I'm just going to sew it on the serger from one end to the other. Make sure you've got your edges lined up. You can tack this in place, you can keep your pins close together, or your clips. And you can also see how quick it is on a serger. Sew together and finish the edges off at the same time. It's better sewing them up with a serger like this, or the three-way zigzag on your sewing machine, because the material has to stretch as it goes on your body, and that stretching can break the stitches apart, but on a serger they'll stretch along with it. All the three-step zigzags, they stretch, or a zigzag stitch. So I'm going up to the crotch line now, so I think I will put another clip in there. Make sure it's lying flat, and I'm not going to sew a crease in it. So now they're basically done, but while we're at the serger, I'll just neaten up the edges for the bottom. So put the two sides together. They're a bit bigger, but doesn't matter, your serger will cut that off in a moment. just sew around the edge then. Because that finishes it off lovely. And that's the feet finished off. We will just turn it over for once and stitch down on the sewing machine. I have shown you before about how to sort out elastic for a waistband. There are the ski pants that I've been making, and with the fabric that was left over I've made a small top for it. Thank you. Bye.